I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Ann Arbor should be on many people's travel bucket lists for its sports, entertainment, arts, and culture, and now the city is destination verified for travelers of all abilities to visit with ease.
Celebrate with you all Destination Ann Arbor being a verified Wheel of the World destination, the first in Michigan.
The Wheel of the World initiative is really looking to make the process of finding a place to go as an individual or as a family easy. So if you have a child in a wheelchair or a parent or grandparent in a wheelchair, you can go to the Wheel of the World website and find places that they've already evaluated for you. The Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum was one of the first companies to go through the Wheel of the World evaluation process with Destination Ann Arbor. So we were really excited to host the press release about this initiative and about Ann Arbor being the first verified city with Wheel of the World.
They are being inclusive and making sure their businesses are accessible for wheelchair users means a lot, and it kind of takes off the stress of having to do that research when you're traveling somewhere.
Families from all across the country and really all across the world will find Ann Arbor on Wheel of the World's website, see the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum as a verified place, and realize that their kids are welcome here, that we think of them as we make our spaces and make sure that they can come in and play and be children.
Ann Arbor has thrown canines a bone with a new pop-up dog park at a very popular locale. Learn about the park that has tails wagging next.
This is the ceremonial opening of the pop-up dog park at Veterans Memorial Field number 4.
It's really nice to have a dog park that's like literally steps away from where I live.
I think people are having more and more dogs and maybe less kids, so I think we need some more places for dogs to play.
If your dog is friendly, has rabies shots, I think it's always good to take them out and have fun activities for them to do so they're not cooped up in the house and on the leash. It's always fun to have their personalities come out when they're interacting with their fellow dog companions.
We are really excited about this opportunity. It is a chance to try something a little bit different, be a little bit more innovative in how we activate spaces during the off-season.
The pop-up dog park at Vets will remain open through April of 2025. For more, visit a2gov.org/dogparks. The city is home to more than 160 must-see parks with scenic views, places to play, and some top-notch facilities. See all that Arbor Hills Nature Area has during this park peak.
Arbor Hills Nature Area is a 6-acre wedge of woods and wetlands in the northeast corner of the city between Green Road and US 23. At the west end, the park includes a portion of a small buttonbush swamp. In the middle, the woods are at least 70 years old. At the east end, there's a vernal pool. The wetlands here are part of a complex of seasonal pools and permanent ponds in the area. The park is home to a flowering dogwood and swamp white oak tree. Swamp white oak and flowering dogwood are both at the northern edge of their range in southern Michigan. Both are considered to indicate a relatively undisturbed habitat. A trail leads hikers through the woods. Expect mud if the weather is especially wet. A boardwalk and small bridge will keep your feet free from most of the mud. There is a small metal sculpture hiding along the side of one of the main trails. The north part of the nature area has a large grassy field that is flat and has one picnic table. To enter by foot, there are 3 entrances into the Arbor Hills Nature Area, each designated by a park sign. The north entrance offers trail access at the end of Ashburnham Road. The west entrance is located on Green Road, and the south entrance off Burbank Drive. and is located within the Chapel Hill neighborhood. For more information about Arbor Hills Nature Area or other city parks, visit a2gov.org/parkfinder.
We are a nation of consumers, and buying new is right at the tip of a finger. But before we splurge on the holidays, Recycle Ann Arbor has an environmentally friendly and cost-effective way to celebrate the season of lights. Joining me is Megan Lunsford, Marketing and Communications Manager for Recycle Ann Arbor. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thanks for having me.
You know, in the past, I've done stuff with Recycle Ann Arbor. We did this whole amazing video where we had an elf in the old place on South Industrial that is no longer there, sadly. But we did this whole holiday recycle guide and stuff. But you guys are doing this newer program called Boost Reuse. And I think this is great because I feel like a lot of times it's easy to be like, oh, we're not wearing this old coat anymore. Or we don't need this old bike anymore. Let's just throw it away. But a lot of times, like, these things can be used by other people and repaired if you have a broken zipper or whatever it might be. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this Boost Reuse program and how and why it came to be?
We launched our Boost Reuse program in the summer in August with a used bike drive. It was partially funded by a waste reduction sponsorship from Washtenaw County. So our goal with Boost Reuse is to focus on reuse and repair at a local level. So we start, like I said, we started with a bike drive and we collected 321 bicycles that were given away by our local community partners. So they were looked at in repaired and just given to those in need, and the bikes that were deemed too old, not usable anymore, were scrapped for parts, and then the rest were recycled at our facilities. So diverting all of those materials from the landfill. So that is the goal of Boost Reuse, is diverting materials from the landfill and encouraging reuse, because a lot of these materials are, perfectly fine. People just don't know what to do with them. So Boost Reuse is a way to is a community collection drive to give these materials to local partners that will then distribute them to those in need, their networks, and to those in need.
I think this is such a great idea because I find like sometimes when I'm like, when you have kids, you have kids, kids grow out of stuff, toys, clothes, all this stuff. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm never going to need clothes for a 3-year-old again. And then you're like, well, what do I do with it? People don't always want it. Like you go online, you're like, hey, does anyone want these clothes for free? And people are always suspicious when you're trying to give stuff away for free, even though you're like trying to do the right thing. You're like, I don't want your money. I just want someone to take this stuff. So I think this is such a great idea because it really gives you an avenue for a place to take the stuff instead of just being like, well, I can't get anyone to take it, so I guess I'm just going to throw it away.
Exactly. And a lot of us, we want to do what's best for the materials, but we often don't know where to even take it. And sometimes it takes a lot of research into figuring out what places take what. So part of the Boost Reuse is a way to utilize our infrastructure. We've been doing collection for many, many years, as Ann Arbor knows. And so it's usually a way to utilize our infrastructure is be able to collect these materials. It is really hard to figure out what to do with this stuff because you don't want to throw it away. So this is a good way for us to partner with the local organizations that use these materials and give them to people in need. And a lot of times they don't have the infrastructure to host collection drives or even store them. So that's where we use our infrastructure to build the collection and sort through it, figure out what can be recycled if it's no good, and then just to give it away, and also hook up with repair places too, because most people don't know how to where to send their things to get repaired. So we're partnering with local organizations that are repair shops. So we're kind of the middleman.
You have a coat drive that's currently in action, which is the perfect time of year. We all need coats this time of year. It's freezing outside today. So
Yeah, so we launched on Monday, December 2nd, our coat drive. So this is the second installment of our Boost Reuse program. So it's running December 2nd through January 4th, and we are partnering with local organizations, Fed Up Ministries and EMU Swoops Food Pantry. So we are collecting these coats, and we'll go through them and give the usable coats to the local organizations that will then give them to the people that in need that use their services. So, and anything that is unusable will be recycled in our facilities. So the goal again is to keep all of this material out of the landfills because textiles is one of the largest things that end up in the trash. So this is our way of trying to eliminate that and boosting reuse. Most of the things that we collect are perfectly fine. People just don't know what to do with them. So this is a good way. Oh, this, I'll just bring in my coats, and as a bonus, bring a coat to the drop-off station and recovery yard, and your gate fee will be waived, so you can recycle your traditional recyclables along with your coat. So you get in for free. So you can also recycle your paper, metal, plastic containers, and all of that. So it's a one-stop shop convenience. So.
Yeah, what a great idea. Because I do think, like, I know in the past, like, I've had coats where I'm like, oh, it's just not warm enough for me anymore. Like, just stuff where there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And you're right. I mean, I was just talking about this whole fast fashion thing and how it's like so bad for the environment. So, I mean, even if you're not, like, let's say you're not buying cheap clothes on Amazon and then only wearing them for a month or whatever, but you have good clothes and then you want to, and people want good clothes because the fast fashion sucks. I'm telling you right now. The clothes are not quality in any way, and then you're like basically throwing them away after you wear them like 3 times. So yeah, I think it's beneficial to talk about buying the right stuff when you are purchasing, but also then thinking about who would want this. I Someone would want this. It's good clothes. It's good wearable clothes.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, we often like when we're purchasing things we often don't think about like what am I going to do with it when I'm done with it? And so a reuse is one of the things like if you're done with it, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. Then the next person can use it and love it, and then if it is made with good material, I mean, this stuff can last for years and years and years. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, people grow out of fashions and things like that. So we encourage people to get these things away. So yeah, so it can have a new life with somebody else. And our boost reuse is a way to strengthen partnerships with our community, to build community and show, demonstrate that this is best practice. So and encourage other people to do the same. So we're trying to start it's already a trend, but
Yeah,
to
but
boost it.
it is really more probably a trend in our area where I feel like a lot of times with these environmental initiatives, Ann Arbor might be like the first, but like then we know people in other places and we're like, hey, we're all doing this. Like, for instance, my daughter's school at the moment for the holidays, which I think is like the greatest idea. They're doing a coat drive, toys, crafts, all this stuff that you have in your house that you might not use anymore. And then they are having like a winter wonderland day where people can trade stuff for like, oh,
Yeah.
here's this and that, and I want this. And it's really just like a great way to like find a new home for the things that like aren't, there's nothing wrong with them. Your kids just don't play with that stuff anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. Having swap events is like we are fully on board with swap events. It's such a great way to like clean out your house, especially ahead of the holidays, especially kids' toys. Yeah, you got to make some room, but you don't want to throw it away in the landfill because that just makes a bigger mess. And reuse also encourages like I said, giving it a new life and prevents things from um, you know resources being pulled out to make new stuff. So why don't we just reuse the stuff that we already have so we don't have to make new stuff and deplete our natural resources. So as a zero waste organization, that is part of our mission is to move materials up the zero waste hierarchy. So that's why we're focusing on reuse before recycle.
Yeah, I was
As
about
a
to say, in a
recycle.
lot of ways, the reuse is more important than the recycle because recycling, I mean, it will be reused in some sort of way, but you're still making new things.
Exactly. Yeah. So, as a zero waste organization, we are a recycler, but we encourage reuse reduction before recycling because recycling is an excellent step in the zero waste um, to reach zero waste, but it is not the only solution. It will only get us so far. So, as being recycled at Ann Arbor, being a zero waste organization, we understand that. So that's why we're focusing on reuse, and our Boost Reuse initiative is a part of that. So we're really excited about the program. And future programs, we're looking at gardening supplies, books, school supplies, and things like that. So if anybody has any ideas or they're an organization that is looking for collection help, if you have a specific item that you are having a hard time that your people are in need of and having a hard time collecting it, reach out to us and we're happy to partner. And then whatever can't be reused will be recycled in our end markets.
That's amazing. It's just such a
As,
good idea.
yeah, let me clarify. As long as it can be recycled, because as we know, there's a lot of wish cycling out there. So not everything that is created is designed to be recycled. Like namely, most plastics weren't designed to be recycled. So there's not really a lot of end markets. But the materials that can be will be so.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned wish cycling because that's obviously a thing that we all do. Like my husband says it to me all the time. Are you wish cycling right now? And I'm like, no, no, I'll put it in the garbage can.
Yeah, and we're all guilty of it. I'm like, oh man, like I have this thing I don't know what to do with. Oh man, I really wish it could be recycled, but it can't. So, that's why you say, oh, well, maybe somebody else can use it. If I'm done with it, maybe somebody else can use it, and you keep that material in circulation for as long as possible. So, that's one way to ensure that it doesn't just end up in the landfill.
Yeah, and if Boost Reuse isn't currently taking stuff that you might have to like send around to different community orgs, I think I'm just going to give this piece of advice because people do this to me all the time because I'm like the only kid, the only person on the street that has a young kid. So people are cleaning out their stuff and they're like, hey, I got these toys and stuff. Do you want them? And I actually really like when people do that. And I usually take the stuff and then I'll pass it along down the road. Even when he was first born 2 years ago, all these moms at the school were like, hey, I got an old seat for him. I got this and I got that. And I just think it's like, I actually loved it. I thought it was great. It saved me money. And I actually felt like it was such a kind gesture to think of me during that time.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially kid stuff because for being such little creatures, they have so much stuff, and most of it, they grow out of it within like a couple months, especially when they're baby stage. So it's brand new stuff. So like, yeah, pass it along to the next person that can use it, and that help. That's the circular economy right there. Luckily there's a lot of like buy nothing groups that are really active in just the giving away. Like I have this thing, don't know what to do with it. Who would like it? So we definitely encourage that. So.
Well, we're almost out of time. Why should people take advantage of the Boost Reuse program and go through their closets and start cleaning out their coats today?
Well, it helps build the circular economy in Ann Arbor. City of Ann Arbor has the A20 sustainability goals as well as Washington County's waste reduction goals. So it helps support that, and it helps build communities. So strengthening the partnerships with with local organizations that need the resources to help the people that are out there. So, and it's a great way. Reuse also, helps build job creations, and it makes you feel good too. So, yeah, so we encourage anybody to drop off coats at the drop-off station in recovery yard, and help us reduce materials going to the landfill and benefit the environment.
So that's the location at Ellsworth and Jackson, right? Those are the two places that people
Yeah,
can drop
those are
coats
yeah,
off,
those are
and
the
in
two.
the future, other donational
Yeah.
donations.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, our goal is to have a handful of boost reuse programs throughout the year. So after Coat Drive, I'm not sure what's on next, but it'll happen in the spring. So yeah, like I said, if you're an organization that needs collection help, let us know what your ideas are. We're
Well,
open to anything.
for someone that's a recycle professional, before we leave, do you have any advice for consumers this holiday season? I mean, we're in the buying season right now, but obviously, Recycling Ann Arbor always has some good advice about, maybe using old wrapping paper or newspapers if they still exist. I don't know if they do or not, but just stuff like that.
Still out there. Yeah, so yeah, we have a good resource on our website, our Zero Waste Holiday Guide. So we have a lot of tips on things that you could do for the holidays, whether it's gift wrapping, hosting a party. So probably my number one thing right now is skip the disposables. If you're having a party, have reusable plates, cups, napkins, silverware, because all of that is just used for a second and just thrown in the trash. So, and then if you're going to a party and you don't know if there's reusables there, bring your own plate. Our One of our board members coined BYOD, bring your own dish. And then gift wrapping, use whatever you have. Christmas tins, fabric. I have definitely used old kids' clothes to wrap things in. I don't know if need to go that extreme. And then just remember, like anything that has foil, glitter, like wrapping paper, cards, that really can't be recycled. So try to like just not buy those in the first place. Like most wrapping paper that's not lined in plastic can be recycled.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then as to go along with boost reuse what you already have. Bake some baked goods for your neighbors and friends, instead of going out and buying a thing that they might just end up throwing away. So a lot of times those are more heartfelt also. So.
Well, I will say one of the things I always do is when people give me gift bags, I reuse them like 100 times. I'll reuse gift bags forever. Like I have a stack of them. I just keep them all and reuse them
I
all the time.
Full disclosure, I have like a full dresser full of bags and tissue paper and like wrappings and stuff like that. We've owned our house for 16 years. In that time, I have not bought a single gift bag or a piece of tissue paper because I save it all. So a lot of people don't think that reuse also saves a lot of money, especially for like gift wrapping and stuff. That stuff is really expensive. So you reuse what you have, saves you a lot of money.
Yeah, totally. I don't even know how much a gift bag costs because I don't buy them.
I've never bought one. It is glorious. And then, having kids and birthdays and baby
Oh, yeah.
showers and all that stuff, I have never bought a new bag ever.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I love this idea of making homemade gifts. I think me and my daughter are going to do that for her friends and stuff. I think that'll be and it'll be a fun activity. And all this just is such an amazing thing. And I hope it just really connects with the community and we just keep going further with it.
Absolutely. And yeah, and we have a fantastic community that is full on board, and we're excited to be a part of it and helping where we can because we think it's really important, especially, in this day and age, with environmental issues and stuff like that. It's really important.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN, visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.